So, Tim Temple, not a lot of people know a lot about you. We've heard that you come from the insurance industry, you worked in the insurance industry. What do you bring from that to your new role as the insurance commissioner regulating the industry? Some people would say, hey, that's like the fox guarding the henhouse.
Right.
Tell us about you and how you will be an advocate for the homeowners and the car owners.
Right. Well, I'd say first, I don't eat chicken, then, if it's the
Okay.
fox guarding the henhouse. But no, I think that the advantage that I'm going to have as the next commissioner of insurance, and that hopefully to the benefit of the people of the state of Louisiana, the insurance buyers, is that I understand the complexities of insurance. It's a very complex financial product. And we have some fundamental issues in Louisiana, primarily being that we're not a competitive state. So insurance companies, we're not a desirable state for them to come into.
Now, wait a second, let's talk about that. Not competitive, I could see that insurance companies looking at so many storms would say, we don't want to be there anymore. But how are the insurance companies who are here not competitive?
Right, and that's a good point, and I appreciate the question. Certainly we've had more than our fair share of hurricanes. We've had 4 over a 12-month period, 800,000+ claims. Insurance companies generally can underwrite for hurricane activity. You know, obviously if they're more frequent and more severe, they have to adjust their rates on that. But also the other side of that equation is the regulatory environment. The legal environment, the statutory environment. And I think something that the viewers really need to understand or be appreciative of is insurance companies don't have to do business in the state of Louisiana. You know, we need to create an attractive and a competitive market for them to want to bring their capital and put it at risk by writing our home or our car or our business. And we're not attractive from a regulatory standpoint.
What about the law that the legislature recently passed to bring insurers in? I'm sure you're familiar with that.
It was the incentive program.
Yes.
Right, and it was initially a $45 million program aimed at bringing in new insurance companies, and that's what we were told. It was going to bring in new insurance companies.
And
$45 million was allocated to 7 companies that were already doing business in the state of Louisiana. So we didn't attract any new companies. If you want competition, you got to bring new companies in. So, you know, and again, I think part of that was the regulatory environment. That it's just right now, we're not a friendly regulatory environment. And then the other side is the legislative side, the piece of it, the legal side. You know, we need to be aware that our neighboring states, we're competing against Texas and Nebraska and North Carolina and all the other states from a legal impact. Do the laws of Louisiana allow a business to be treated fairly? Do they allow them an opportunity to make a profit? You know, and you can't pay claims unless you make a profit. So that's another component. So the weather we can't do anything about. We can't control the hurricanes yet that I'm aware of. We can't do anything about tornadoes, but we can try and improve our regulatory and our legal framework.
how do you do that as insurance commissioner?
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do and what I'm going to do is work with the stakeholders. You know, we're actually in the process of putting together a transition team, not transition into the office, but transition into creating a path forward to make Louisiana a more attractive market. You look at, you engage the stakeholders, you engage the insurance companies, you engage the insurance agents, the consumer advocacy groups, the legal environment, the policyholders, you know, you and I. I'm going to create an opportunity for people to have their input. The legislators, we've got to include the legislators and our new governor and all of our other statewide elected officials. It's a team. It's not an effort. It's a team effort. But we're going to create a framework so that we can identify the fundamental problems that we have in Louisiana from a regulatory and a statutory side, and then we're going to figure out and work together to create the solution to those problems, and then we're going to implement them.
Specifically, what will you be doing differently from your predecessor, Commissioner Donlon?
Sure. Well, look, like I said, I understand, being from the industry, I understand the complexities of it. If you pull this lever, somewhere else another lever is being pushed forward, or if you push down, something's moving up. I get that. I've grown it. I've worn all those hats. I've grown up in this industry. So I'm going to bring that knowledge and work with the stakeholders. I didn't even mention this, but the claims, the adjusters. We've heard, some not so good stories about claims adjusting. The claims experience that we as insureds, have. We've got to bring them into the conversation too to figure out where the bottlenecks are. Why did it take so long for an adjuster to get to your house? Why did it take so long for the insurance company to adjust your claim or to pay you properly? You know, we want to create an environment, again, where insurance companies can thrive, but also we as consumers and claimants can thrive through that claims process and get our payment, you know, as timely as possible.
Let's talk about just homeowners who are saying, okay, this all sounds great, but my homeowner's insurance just keeps going up and up. I might be priced out. I might have to leave the state of Louisiana. What would you tell those folks?
Look, I understand and I hear that pain every day. I've been around the state. You know, I started campaigning in October of last year, and just you know, the last 2 weeks, I haven't stopped traveling. I've stopped campaigning because of the commissioner-elect now, but I'm continuing and talking and engaging with stakeholders. I would say this, that I have been advocating for a special session to be held as early after swearing in Inauguration Day, which I believe is January 8th, as possible. I've talked to many of the gubernatorial candidates along those lines. I've talked to a lot of the House and Senate members, whether incumbents or running for office for the first time, about the importance of having a special session. And I'll tell you, Florida had one hurricane, Hurricane Ida. Hurricane Ian. They had Hurricane Ian.
Yeah.
They've had 3 special sessions since then to try and address their insurance crisis. We had 4 hurricanes in a 12-month period, and we had 1 special session, and that was for incentive money only. So we're well past due to truly identify those fundamental issues. My belief, to answer the question, is we do that, we move forward, the industry will pay attention.
How can the legislature, though, lower insurance rates, especially when you said it's competitive, insurance companies will go to Nebraska or Texas instead of even dealing with us? What can the legislature really do?
Well, nobody can lower insurance rates except for competition, right? That's the only way that we're truly going to get any type of rate relief, premium relief, is by creating that competitive environment. So what the legislature can do is working with all the stakeholders, being part of those conversations, identify the laws that will help make Louisiana a more attractive market so those insurance companies come to Louisiana. And as soon as a company comes in and they want to start writing business, they understand that to write your business, they've either got to offer you a better product or a less expensive product. And oftentimes it's going to be both. And so that will be the pressure that will help to bring premium relief.
How is Louisiana holding back those companies right now?
Well, again, we've got a regulatory environment that is not the most friendly.
In what way?
Well, I mean, I hear it from insurance companies all the time, is that we are a heavily regulated industry.
Meaning
The current commissioner he's on record of saying that, you know, he's a very tough regulator. You know, but where has that gotten us? We're in the middle of a crisis, again, not just with homeowners, but with auto and commercial property and commercial trucking and all these other lines of business. So we're competing against, you know, for those companies. We're competing against Texas. So we have got, if you're an insurance company and you say, I want to go write business in a Gulf state, a Gulf Coast state that's going to be exposed to hurricanes, you only have 5 states to choose from. You've got Texas and Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. Well, if Texas has a very friendly or more fair regulatory environment, and the other states do, but Louisiana doesn't, well, that's an X against us right there.
As a homeowner, I always think the more friendly environment is meaning that insurance companies can cut some rules that we have now and maybe do some things that I wouldn't like as a homeowner.
And I think that's a fair thought, but it's the job, you know, the citizens of Louisiana, they have a commissioner of insurance that they pay to be the regulator, to make sure that you bring in companies, and you can't come in and say, welcome to Louisiana, we're going to beat you on the head with a stick. You know, you're going to come in and say, welcome to Louisiana, this is a friendly environment, you know, you're going to have an opportunity to sell policies, but we expect you to follow the law and take care of your claimants, you know, as dictates. And look, I grew up in this industry, that's the business insurance companies are in, to help. They want customers, and they take care of their customers. There's certainly some bad actors out there, but as the Commissioner of Insurance, that's your job also, is to identify those bad actors, either correct those actions, or kick them out of the state of Louisiana.
Tim Temple, our Commissioner-elect, as you say, of insurance, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you and talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.